Sir?
I would love to. Ayana was so much fun to work with. We laughed a lot, and she's such a well-rounded person. Not only does she like science, but she's an athlete. She's an accomplished artist. In fact, she went through so many art supplies. Her parents finally just bought her an iPad. And she's also a dancer. Because she was interested in making an app, and she had done some Scratch, we decided to try MIT App Inventor. And when we found out that you could do AI with it, we went in that direction. We found a 20,000 image data set that she balanced and made smaller so that it would run and train within an app browser. So not only did she learn about AI, she learned about the data side, which a lot of people forget about. She really amazed me, and I had to keep remembering that she was only in 8th grade. So with great pleasure, I introduce you to Ayana Fahim.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ayana Fahim. I study at Thomas Russell Middle School in 8th grade. Next slide, please. Before I get started with my presentation, I would like to introduce my mentor. Her name is Anouk, and she works for Synthesis Health as a radiologist in AI. She's from Arizona, and she loves hiking in the desert. Next slide, please. This is my project, Electrobody, which is an app for classifying skin lesions. I mainly selected this project because I want to be a doctor and I love technology, and I wanted to combine both of my interests. And some of the topics and technologies that I learned are artificial intelligence, image classification. I learned how to storyboard an app before we get started. I learned block coding on MIT App Inventor and types of deadly cancers and some common skin conditions. Next slide, please. This is my magical experience. I was able to make the Electrobody app, which changed my perspective on dermatology from something that was really boring to something that's very interesting and a critical problem in the world. I was able to learn applications of AI in medicine, image classification, and I was able to incorporate my artistic skills in the app. Next slide. Here's a storyboard that I used to plan the layout of my app. I drew this on my iPad and I designed my app on MIT based on this. Next slide. These are the elements that I used to design the home screen of my app. I used a bunch of elements on MIT and tried my best to make the app look great. Next slide, please. Here's an example of how the blocks look on MIT. They look very similar to the ones on Scratch, which makes them very easy to use. And this is an example of one set of code that I used in my app. Next slide, please. These are the categories that I trained. These are different skin lesions. Some of them are common ones, like benign keratosis, while some of them, like basal and melanoma, are very cancerous ones. Next slide, please. I trained all of those categories on Teachable Machine and created a model that I could incorporate into my app. Next slide, please. And this is an overview of machine learning, which basically comes down to numbers and math. So machine learning is when the machine tries to learn features of a single image and match them with different categories to then finally predict the possible output. Next slide, please. This is the demo of my app. This is the home screen, in which there are 3 different screens. The first one is the symptom screen, where we get to choose symptoms that we're going through. And then we can click on submit to finally find results if we're having a flu or a cold, or if we're completely fine. And the next screen is skin conditions, in which there's a Teachable Machine screen where you can select a picture of a skin condition that we're going through. So I selected a picture of melanoma on a person's skin, and the machine is supposed to correctly recognize this and tell me that this is 100% melanoma, as it shows there. And the next screen is mood, where I get to toggle what mood I'm feeling, if I'm feeling happy, okay, or sad. And then I get to journal why I'm feeling this way. And after I'm done, I can click save and it saves to the list below. And this is my last screen, which is just a page that says this is not a medical device. Next slide, please. And I applaud and appreciate your interest in the ElectroBody app. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that any of you have.
Wonderful. It looks like in the Robert was asking how you would enhance the drawing for version 2.
I would probably, I'm not sure, honestly, maybe try doing like drawings on a better app and incorporate more like high quality pictures. Yeah, and change the layout of the app and make it look a bit more modern. Yep.
Wonderful.
Smriti,
Oh,
sorry. Oh, Robert, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick question on who do you see as your user for your app? Is it doctors or is it folks, everyday folks, or is it someone else?
Well, not doctors because it's not really a medical device. It's not
Right.
like that proper, but just common people like me, I guess, just for journaling our thoughts, then just for understanding if we have a cold or flu, which is like an everyday like thing that everybody goes through. And also for the skin lesion bit was the part that you wanted to use AI, so that's why I added that to my app.
I see. Could you see possibly where if it's if the audience is someone like you or I, where we would use this as kind of a starting point, and could you see your app being enhanced to say you might want to see a doctor, or this is no big deal, or something like that? Is that something worth exploring?
Yeah, that definitely is. Thank you for the tip. I'll add that.
Good job. I loved your drawing, by the way. That was good.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes, it was I thought it was a beautiful combination of an area that you already have an interest and a talent in, of drawing and artistry, and combining it with your interest in AI. So that was really wonderful to see. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Thank you.
Hi. This is Smriti. Sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, nothing.
Thank you, Ayana. This was a wonderful job. And I love how you added a few different kind of, the journaling, the AI bit, and the symptoms. I was going to ask a similar question to Robert, which was if you tried this out with any users. And I'll also ask another follow-up, which is if you could add another feature, what would it be?
If I add another feature, well, I tried to make this app as like well-rounded as possible. It includes physical things and mental things. I haven't thought of what I would add yet, but if anybody has any suggestions, I would like to take them.
And have you tested it with any friends or family?
I have tested it with my brother. Like my brother and I just messed around with it and took pictures of ourselves to see what the AI would classify that as. Well, it didn't exactly work because it needs like a more detailed picture to work properly.
So on purpose, Ayana held back 10% of the data set to use as a test set. And that was data that was not used for training. So she was able to do a proper test then with that set.
Yep.
Wonderful.